Good afternoon, good morning, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Today, joining you, a special guest, Caleb Coley, on the Bryan Rector Confluencer of Worlds podcast show.
There it is.
Today's topic is about me. He's gonna get to know me and my faith. And overall, guys, I just want to point you to the cross of Christ, and thank you for joining. Take it away.
My man, Caleb Coley. Thank you for that introduction.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be a great show today, folks. And there are a whole host of things that I want to get into with my man, Caleb, here. In fact, in the other room, we were just playing a game called Bumper Pool. That's a super intricate game. What we might end up doing is getting a few clips of that for you guys to kind of showcase what that's all about and how we use that to build community within our own house here, the basement of Quattro, as we've called it before. Dude, I don't even want to tell you the story about how that name came to be. But nevertheless, we're here, and you guys are on an off week. So talk to me about what you're doing during the bye week, what's kind of been going on this season, and let's go from there.
The bye week, man, I've really been using the bye week to just relax, get away from football, because the schedule is very, I don't know the word for it, but it just piles on top of each other. And it feels real good to just be able to sit back and rest, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm definitely taking advantage of that.
For
Indeed,
sure.
man. And then what was your other question? What was the back end?
Oh, man. What was that other question? But let's move on.
Yeah.
So bye week is good,
Yes,
and
indeed.
you're enjoying. I heard that you're going to a haunted house today. Talk to me about that.
I'm finna try my luck with these haunted things, man. I'm gonna walk in there with the blood of Christ all over me, so I'll be protected indeed. But
Hey.
it'll be fun.
Hey, yes, sir. It's the Halloween season. Folks, go to a haunted house. Do something. I mean, yeah, enjoy the Halloween season as much as you can. But let's go right into it. So I was connected with you through Salt and through Jaden Loy. We'll go shout out to Jaden again. Yeah. And Jonathan Stout. My man. Yeah. Who's out there. I think the soccer team is in Wisconsin now. They just landed. They're going to Madison for a game. So good luck to you boys keeping that undefeated season rolling. Had to plug that. But you're here now on my show. What
Thank you for having me.
Hey, what inspired you to come on the show? And where's your faith come from? How are you involved at Michigan State?
Well, Jaden reached out to me and told me you were a man of God. So as soon as he said that, I was down. And then my faith, it inspired me to come to Michigan State because I feel like I'm really looking forward to like being a light on the team, continuing to be a light on the team, and just being an example for others and on how to like let the love of Christ flow through you.
Okay, absolutely. And a little bit of background, folks. What you have to know about this man are many things, particularly off the field, and that's largely what we'll talk about today. But on the field, coming into college, ranked 193rd in the ESPN 300 from Georgia. What were some of your decision-making processes? Because I know you said Michigan State, you want to be a light on the team. What was it like getting to Michigan State and that whole process of deciding what your next step would be? How did you sort through all that as a younger kid?
Yeah, so sorting through that was difficult. I had times where my decision would flip and flop, but the thing that stayed consistent through all of the decision-making was prayer. And like Michigan State, when I visited here, I loved it. It felt like a family aspect for sure. But after visiting, like I kind of put it on the back burner. And for me, my top schools was Vanderbilt and Clemson. So between picking those two, I prayed hard about it. And Vandy was just a very, very strong faith-driven school. The head coach, Coach Lee, he's a strong believer, very great man. And I love the guy. And so that's why I was going to go to Vandy. And their team just had a great like faith aspect. Like they would pray often. It was just beautiful to see. But I just felt in my spirit that God was calling me somewhere else for something greater than I could see. I felt like God called me to Michigan State to help, like I said, be a light on the gospel. But it was more so, why go somewhere comfortable where you can go somewhere uncomfortable and just bring the light there? So that was the whole purpose. But the decision was definitely hard, man. Prayer. Because growing up, I didn't travel that much. I'd never been to Michigan before until this. I'd never been on a plane before until college visits.
Wow.
So everything was brand new, but I just had to trust indeed.
You know, something that you just said, which was like incredible to me that I just realized, is that with your 3 schools, right, there was Vanderbilt, who, as you said, Coach Lee over there runs and facilitates an amazing program with the type of level and devotion to faith. But we can say the same thing about Coach Sweeney over at Clemson, too. So I find that really interesting. That, and it comes back to what you said about choosing the difficult thing and the uncomfortable thing over programs that already had established roots in Christ. Coming to Michigan State, what was, and now I want to get into this because under Coach Barnett, it feels like, and what you were telling me off camera, is there's been a change in a positive way in terms of faith. Praying more and being more active, listening to gospel music in practice and things of this nature. But what was it like prior to that change that's happened, and how would you kind of describe where you're coming from in terms of Michigan State's program?
Okay, so prior to Coach Barnett being the head coach, we just prayed as defensive backs. Like after practice would end, we would come together, talk about practice, and then we would pray. Just us. But a team that's united is a team that's strong. So we were more divided when it came to our relationships with God. But as Coach Barnett became the leader, he really led us in our faith, and he brought us all together, and we're stronger together. Like this, you can hurt somebody, but like this, you can knock somebody out. And we're here to knock the devil out, man. And so, hey, come on now.
I love
that. Was
that.
Smooth.
That was smooth. I love hearing that. Dude, oh my goodness. Coach Barnett spoke actually at AIA just the other day, right?
Strong, man.
Were you there?
I was.
Okay, tell me about that. What did he bring?
He brought passion. He brought passion, electricity. Shoot, man, it was just real, like no sugarcoating, just authentic. It was beautiful. And it was just like seeing a man strong in his faith is always going to be encouraging to other men, because it's like if he can do it, so can I. And it's just motivational. It like kind of kickstarts you in a way. And then I had the privilege of being behind the camera. I got to take pictures.
Oh,
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Man, I know our producer Ryan Stockdale is off camera over here, so you don't get to take a look at him. But no, I know we all are doing something in the media space, and I love that it was enjoyable for you to be able to sit behind and take those flicks. That's a great deal. But man, so you're in AIA, more involved with now praying amongst the team, and you're also in SALT. What did that look like when you were getting connected to a ministry on campus, and what drew you into SALT and what they're doing and how they go about what they do?
Okay, so what did it look like getting involved in the mission on campus? So in the beginning, it was difficult because I just got thrown in here, and I didn't know too much about Michigan State's faith aspect, but I met this young man named Alec. I met him in Atlanta at Passion, and I had on a Michigan State hoodie.
Okay.
So when I met him there, he saw the hoodie. He's like, "Oh, you go to Michigan State?" "No, I don't, but I'm going to." And then we exchanged contact. So when I got back, I went to church with him, and then he told me about Crew. So I came to a Crew Bible study. I believe it was on the Tuesday. I'm not sure what day it was, but I went to a Crew Bible study. When I was there, Alec was telling people I play football, and then they connected me to AIA. So then that's how I got connected to AIA, which has been dope ever since. And it just gives you that community inside your sport and like with other athletes as well, which was dope. And then when it came to SALT, I was trying to find the church when I got here, and I stumbled upon the Commons. And then as soon as I got there, this guy named Roderick said, "Do you want to join my CG?" And a CG is a connection group, this thing that they have after SALT, so that you can dive deeper into what you just heard, so that it's not like water off a duck's back, that you hear it one ear out the other, but that you can really sit on it and meditate. So I joined a connection group that way, and then been going to SALT ever since. And now I'm a connection group leader, which is a blessing.
Wow.
Came full circle.
Wow.
Indeed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. And that just sounds like something I really want to highlight, which is that your faith journey as you're at college, getting into it, and especially as an athlete too, trying to find the time, but you have to devote some time to pursuing the Lord, right? And being before Him. And it's inspiring to me that you've done that.
Indeed, bro. Because what's important to you, you'll make time for. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What are you passionate about besides your faith and besides football, what are some of the things that you like doing? How do you spend any spare minutes that you have?
Movies, bro.
Okay.
I love movies. My favorite movie is Pleasantville. Starts off black and white, then it gets color. It's a great movie. And I love riding like dirt bikes, bro. I got an electric dirt bike that I ride around campus.
Really?
Yeah, it's sick.
Dude, I would pay to see that.
It's
man.
sick. I can show you a picture. It's sick.
Do you know, here's a name. Do you know Jacob Howell?
I do.
Okay, so Howell, that's my guy. Jacob Howell, if you're listening. We got Coley on here, bro. But he has a one wheel that has the label.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I seen it in his room.
That has the label of salt on it, and he rides that thing around. He was just at a soccer game at IM, like on Munn Field the other day, and I saw him hauling across the grass on the one wheel. I was like, "What,
guy, bro.
dude? Oh my, that is so funny." I know. I can't get enough of that, dude. So you also, right, I know off camera we were talking about how you switched from storytelling, digital storytelling, to communication.
Yeah.
Why did you want to be in that sort of field? I know we talked about a little bit of your movie love, but why? How does that connect to what you're pursuing academically?
You talking about the digital story?
Just how you got from there to communication.
Okay, so I was struggling with working on computers, so that's why I had to hop away from digital storytelling and into communications. But when it comes to communications, I believe it's important to know how to speak to people and know how to speak in front of people. So I never know what God's going to do in my life ministry-wise, so I got to prepare myself for when it comes to being a public speaker. I had trouble speaking growing up, but I feel like it's gotten better. The reason I chose digital storytelling initially is because of my love for movies and just like all the cool stuff. But I'm more interested in what happens in front of the camera and not behind. But I didn't do my research beforehand, so yeah. But now I'm actually minoring in theater, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, you talked about being improved at public speaking and working on it. Yeah. And one of the things that blew me away was the way that you spoke and the things that you spoke about on the Carter Effect podcast. Just the other day it dropped. And I loved hearing that. What kind of, because I know you and Nate are tight, right? And how did that come about? And why is it so important for you to be doing things like this? Sitting here with me, talking to Nate and to all your other friends and teammates who were on that show. Like, what are you trying to do with that and outreach and speaking?
So first off, when it comes to sitting here with you, I truly believe that God is going to do something great in my life, and I believe he's going to do something great in your life. And I say that because right now, not too known, but I believe that God's going to elevate me in my sport, and that's what I'm praying for, so that I can spread the gospel even more. But that really can help, like, with your business as well. Like, imagine saying that you had freaking LeBron James on your podcast, you know what I'm saying? Yes. I'm not LeBron James, but I know my God is big, and he can do big things, and I just look forward to that. And then I love supporting believers, you know what I'm saying? Because you got the Holy Spirit inside of you, man, and I just support that fully. And then with Nate's podcast, he reached out. He was talking about what was it? First one was relationships. He said, "Let's get on here and talk about relationships," and I thought that was funny. So I'm like, "All right, let's do it." But I met Nate at Passion as well, bro. Okay. Yeah, I've been meeting everybody at Passion. So yeah, that was great. He came up to me. And he was just like, "Hey, you going to Michigan State?" Because I had the thing on, and we just started talking. And then since then, it was just like an instant connection. Just great guy, man.
Is that when he was at UConn? Or what was the timeline for that, when you guys met?
No, I think Passion was when he, because Passion was in January. Okay. So it was after he already committed here, and he knew he was coming here. Yeah.
I see. Cool. And what is Passion? I was curious about that.
Yeah,
so you referenced being in Georgia at Passion, and also here. I was curious. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, Passion is this worship conference that takes place in Atlanta, Georgia. It was at the Hawks Arena, and then it was at the Mercedes-Benz. And it's just where a bunch of believers come together from all over, and we worship, and then they have little breakout sessions where there's a speaker. And, yeah, it's just big old church. In like all-day church for like 2 days, I believe. Yeah. So let me ask you something. I want to direct our attention at football now, and particularly playing, because what you just said that kind of captivated me was that your belief which I believe too, after having met you and am speaking to you, is that your platform is going to be elevated through football. But so far, you haven't necessarily had the chance. But it's because you've been a little bit riddled by injuries. So I was wondering if you could kind of break down what happened to you and where you're coming from in terms of like health-wise and physically. And talk about, how you've used the Lord as a guiding factor for coming back.
Okay, so injury-wise, freshman year, I was healthy until I was healthy for a while, and then there was talk of me playing and stuff like that. Like the Maryland game is when I was gonna really like play for real, like start is when I had the chance. But then I got a concussion, so that had me. But the concussion is a bouncy one, so like. It's hard to know how long a concussion takes, and mine took a while. But I came back the bye week of the U of M game, so I was ready and healthy then.
Sure.
So we're at practice, and I reach out my arm like to get off a block. Dylan Tatum comes, boom, runs straight through my arm, dislocated elbow. So that took me out for the rest of that season. And then all the stuff that happened in the tunnel of U of M. So I was gonna start obviously the next game after that, but injury, boom, I'm done.
Okay.
So then this season comes around, and fall camp is going good. Like my mindset changed. So I started practicing way better because I was no longer competing with my teammates, but I was worshiping Christ.
I see.
And when it came to that, I was giving everything that I have, like full speed, everything. So it was going really well, and I was getting better. Like I could see it, right? So it was looking good. And then one day, just doing regular drills, boom, footwork drills. I step, something in my foot tears, and it's had me out ever since, man. And it could be hard, but I just got to keep looking at God, bro. And my whole purpose for coming here was to spread the gospel. So I can spread the gospel whether I'm healthy or not healthy, because I can still speak, and that's a blessing. So I'm using my voice and my life to be an example to my teammates.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate you. For everyone out there listening, breaking down kind of where you've come from and what your, injury history was. And I was just curious, is like, are there any particular passages or verses that you look at when you're thinking about recovery, and getting back onto the field, in that process?
Coach Barnett will always say to me, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added onto you. So daily I'm just waking up, getting in my word, praying, whatever that may look like. And I'm using that because I know that God is not a liar, and that he's true, and that his word is true, so that if I just continue to be consistent in that aspect, everything will be added unto me. But then also, I was pointed to, trying to think if it was John or if it was Daniel. I don't remember which book of the Bible it was, but I know that you're supposed to smile at the suffering and just use it as joy, because it's just ammunition and fuel to helping you grow in your faith and just like let it continue to elevate. So these trials, I gotta look at these trials as joy, man, because it's really sharpening the iron.
Yes. I love that. And I was curious, and we don't have to go there if you don't want to, but I was kind of doing my research, my due diligence, combing through, your like Instagram profile, and I saw that there was an incident where you were in a car crash, I believe. I was wondering, if you wouldn't mind sharing that story and kind of what that did for you as being one of the most difficult trials, I would imagine, that you've had to endure. What kind of happened?
Yeah, so I don't feel comfortable talking about that.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. Okay, so like you thought I was for real? Nah, bro, I was just playing, bro.
Oh my goodness.
So I should have held the silence for. No, I'm not comfortable.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
I just jumped out of my seat, dude. That was, I think you're well on your way to becoming an actor. That was major.
But nah, like, so, boom. Okay, so after COVID happened, this is a little snippet of my testimony. After COVID happened is when I really was like, well, during COVID is when I started pursuing God, and I wasn't really worried about anything else, just chase after God. So the next year, my junior year, is when I started getting offers. So I started getting all them offers, right? And then this car accident happened after the season. And that's when I had a majority of my offers. So I'm driving back I just spoke at a Bible study. So I was driving back following my friend my friend Michael, bro, can't drive. I'm blaming him for everything. I was following him because I really didn't know how to get out of the neighborhood. I was new to driving for the most part.
Sure.
So he drove over a median, bro, like over a grass median. So I'm over here. I'm finna follow him, and I see it, and I stop. And then I look, and I see, like, lights coming at me. But I'm like, I'm in the middle of the road, so they're going to stop. So I look back trying to, like, turn or whatever. They don't stop. They run straight through. Boom, KO. I go straight to sleep. I woke up. I was on the side of the road. And then went to sleep, then woke up. I was in, like, the little ambulance thing or whatever.
Okay.
But after all of that was said and done, I was at the hospital. Like, they was checking me. No cuts, no bruises, no concussion, no nothing. No internal damage. I felt everything. Like, I was blessed, man. And it's bad, guys. I did not have my seatbelt on, but I survived, bro. But not only did I survive, but I was gifted a testimony, bro. That's like... Shoot, I deserve, in that instance, the way I was driving reckless, didn't have on a seatbelt, I deserved death, but instead I was gifted with the testimony. And that's like grace, like how Jesus died on the cross for us. So while we were still sinners, he died. And his grace was poured onto us because even though we don't deserve heaven, we're getting it because of what his son did on the cross for us. So like that's an example right there. But yeah, it's a blessing, bro. But I definitely shouldn't be here today, but I am because of his blood and his mercy and his grace.
When is it, because after that happened, I imagine, there was a time where that was certainly traumatizing for you and a hard thing to deal with. But I was curious, is like, when did it switch into something that you were like open and honest about talking about and using your story as evidence for what God can do?
So I really didn't think too much about it until my Bible study leader's wife, Miss Tony, she was telling me that it's a miracle that you're alive because they're doctors. So they're like, it's a miracle that you're alive. Like, you shouldn't be alive or whatever. Okay. And I was like, dang, like, I probably shouldn't be alive. But I didn't really think too much about it. But then after that, I started like, okay, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And it was just like that.
Is that piece of your testimony something that you tell often? Or are you kind of more reserved about it?
I mean... I'm not nervous to talk about it or shy or withholding it from anybody, but I've never really brought it up for real. You're the first person I believe that I've spoke to it. I've talked to people about it, but it's just not something that I talk about daily. Okay. But I probably should start talking about it more, I guess, when the opportunity presents itself.
Sure. I feel like that's a tremendous piece, is having that discernment, right? Mm-hmm. And knowing when the right place, right time, right people are to dive deeper into that. So I appreciate you for bringing that out and sharing, because I think that's going to be influential to a lot of people at whatever time and whatever juncture that you can use that for. Yeah. Let's go somewhere else, though.
Where are we finna go?
Let's go somewhere else, because you've done something that's particularly unique. And I feel like we were talking about this off camera. This is something that, as far as I can tell, you just with athletic schedules and with the busyness that you have, oftentimes student athletes don't get to do this. But you've been on a study abroad trip.
I have.
Okay. So where did you go?
I went to Australia.
Okay.
Spent a week in Sydney and a week in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Was there... Like, I want to get into a lot of things about it, but I'll ask you one thing to keep us on target. Okay. Because we talked earlier about,
He already knows what I'm finna say.
Yeah, ways to get off topic. but was there any time there where you had a Christ-centered experience? Or okay.
Yes. Okay, so I was on a little train, and I was talking to this young man, just trying to figure out like what faith is like in a different part of the world, because Salt, like a bunch of them were going to India to spread the gospel, and I was like, okay, maybe I can't go to India because of my schedule, because they were there for a long time, but I'm in Australia, so what can I do about it?
Sure.
So I was talking to this young man about the gospel on the train, which was dope, and just trying to share it with him and stuff, and I prayed for him, and I think that was definitely a dope experience to really be a light to somebody.
I know a couple weeks ago when I was interviewing somebody who Julia Bishop from volleyball, she was saying how interesting it is to begin to learn about people from different cultures and where their faith is at. Because, like, for instance, they have, a couple players on their team who are from Poland, New Zealand, Turkey, and so it's important to try and relay these messages because there's a lot of, worldly places that are unreached still. And so I feel like that's super cool that you got to do that and that you had the boldness to be able to do that. That's amazing. Would you, after football and after college are done, is that something you'd like to do? Travel the world, see other areas, and do some more outreach like that?
I haven't thought too much about that, like being a missionary.
Yeah.
But traveling the world would definitely be dope. And I know whatever I'm doing while I'm traveling the world, I'm gonna continue to be a light while I'm there.
Sure.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, it's become clear to me that you're very involved in community and, doing different things around campus at Michigan State. And I would say, like, what is the importance to you of doing that stuff outside, going to areas where you can help people, where you can make a difference?
So the community aspect, it's important to me to gain the community because I didn't really have the Christian community in high school, and I can see how important it is now. And then when it comes to doing outreach things like Thursday, we had the privilege of going to, it's like a house for the families that have kids in the hospital, so that was definitely dope. And it's crazy how much we mean to them just by showing up, just the green and white, the Michigan State, the logo, like how important it is to them. So I think it's just a blessing to be able to sow into those people's lives, but like just have conversations with them that are way deeper than just talking about football, like talking about my faith, talking about them and their experiences, and just learning about them and how what they went through can help me and how what I'm going through can help them.
That's major.
Yeah.
That's major. I love hearing it because actually I think I saw that on the football Instagram.
They posted it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think, unpopular opinion,
Yeah.
I think like when we do things like that, it should be private.
Okay.
Because the only reason I feel like that is because the heart behind it, like I'm not saying that we're doing it to be recorded or whatever.
Sure.
But like when it is recorded, like you're going to get some kind of recognition. But it's like better to do it in private. You know what I'm saying? Like help these people. These people know that they're being helped, but like the world doesn't have to know, I guess.
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, because I did kind of just talk about what happened, but
well, no, that's different though. But here's what I was curious about because I appreciate your perspective on it. But I would say kind of the argument against that is by Michigan State football using their platform to show that that could inspire other people to do similar things, right? So it's interesting. There's always that duality to it of going either way.
yeah.
But I hear what you're saying now. That makes sense about doing it, under wraps, right? In a more quiet environment. Okay, yeah. That's something to stew about, folks, is like, why is it that we do what we do? That's something that I really, truly appreciate, and a question that I ask myself often. Being involved in Big Ten Network here at Michigan State, Spartan Vision, what, can I do? That makes a difference. Different from, like, tonight, shout out Michigan State volleyball, playing Nebraska tonight at the Breslin Center.
Wow.
Doing work with that, right? And making a difference in the community, but there's always that deeper element to it of where else could we go. Exactly. So I like hearing that. Speaking, about community involvement and like ways that you can get connected to organizations, to businesses, are you involved in any like NIL stuff? Or what's kind of your perspective on what's happening with collegiate sports?
Okay, so I can say this, like the fact that I go to Michigan State has introduced me to opportunity. I met this young guy by the name of Brock Fletcher at Keller Williams Real Estate, and I interned for him, and he's really just been a blessing to my life, just in more ways than one. But he's well off, and he's been mentoring me in the aspect of real estate. Right now, I'm taking my real estate class for the course. Yeah, so that's NIL thing per se that's been blessed to me because I play football.
Okay.
But yeah, I forgot about that, but that's huge.
That sounds really cool.
It's dope.
Actually, I gotta be honest. I haven't heard of another collegiate person who's in real estate here at Michigan State.
Hey.
So that's kind of cool. Everybody, hit up my man,
Facts.
Caleb
You need a
Coley.
home, bro?
If
I
you're
got
looking
you.
for property, we got to plug this dude. Take a look at that. But here's a question, is why was it important to you to be doing that license? What are you hoping to do with that? Where do you want to go?
Okay, so it's definitely important to realize that sports come and go. Like your body, as you can see, it like depreciates. It's a depreciating asset.
Oh, that's a term.
But
wow, you hear that right? I know you're studying, man.
But
We need to hear that word.
Yeah, so I always, when I was growing up and we was moving, I loved going to a bunch of the different houses and just looking inside. Like it was just cool to me, from a house turning into a home, like that whole thing. So yeah, like houses are just cool. It's just fascinating. It was just something that I was interested in for a little while. So I was just like, let me reach out to somebody and find out how to do this. But yeah, it was just, I think it's dope actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I could dive in way deeper, like an empty house becoming a home. Like that's a whole sermon.
Sure.
Somebody could do it.
Man, I think we might have to go episode 2 to make that happen.
Might as well, man.
Seriously, man. Wow. One thing that I really did want to cover with you is that today you've talked about kind of where your faith has come from, and how you've gotten to where you're at. But one thing that I heard was that you actually got baptized.
Indeed.
Relatively recently.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk to me about where that came from, what your mindset was on doing that.
So I firmly believe in, like, when you feel like God is calling you to do something, you do it. So I grew up in the church, but my faith didn't become my own until during when COVID hit. But I had been baptized prior to COVID, but it really wasn't as meaningful to me as it was when I got it this past time, because there was truly a change in my life. So one day we was in church, and it was during the baptisms, and at the comments, like, if you want to get baptized, like, they have to know more about you, like, to make sure it's, like, sincere. Like, it's not just an impulsive kind of thing or something like that, but you have to go through this stuff or whatever. So it was one day, people was getting baptized. I didn't sign up or anything, but Austin Wadlow, like, he disciples me, so we meet every other Sunday. So he disciples me, and while the baptism was going on, I felt like the Spirit was calling me to get baptized, go get baptized, but I was fighting it. I was like, maybe I'm tripping, you know what I'm saying? But nah, bro. So I had to get up, walked over to Austin, was like, hey, man, I feel like God's telling me to get baptized right now. So he allowed me the opportunity, went up there, I had to say a little testimony or whatever, and then I got dedunked and brought up out that thing. So yeah, it was smooth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been, I mean, a seriously uplifting experience.
Crazy, bro. I still had the jeans on, man. Didn't have no change of clothes on. He said, what?
What? You had
jeans on,
dude,
a sweater, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Only thing I took off was my socks and my belt.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I took my belt off.
The belt?
I hope I took my belt off.
The belt, wow. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy there. Jeez. I don't even know where to go with that, man. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Who at Michigan State have been some of the people that you've connected with that are the most influential in your faith? Okay,
so a lot of people I've connected with have been extremely influential, and each person helps me in different ways. So, like, just talking to you, you've been helping me. So I feel like the people I've come into contact with, I don't want to start name dropping because I know I'm liable to forget some names.
Okay. Yeah.
But the people who have influenced me, they know who they are, man. And I'm just grateful that I know them and that they know me, truly know me.
Okay. What do you think it takes to get to know somebody fully?
Vulnerability. Vulnerability. Like, just being able to sit with somebody and just share what's really going on. Because a lot of times I feel like we can put up masks, and I'm guilty of doing that before. So it's just good to be out and open, and just let somebody know what's going on. Like, if you're struggling, let them know you're struggling. Because, dang, there was a quote, I forgot it, but I just know it's important. If I can be vulnerable with you, and you can be back vulnerable with me, and it'll just strengthen our connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know one of the common ways to, strengthen a connection is through like shared experience,
Mm-hmm.
as well as like shared culture.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, off camera we were talking about a couple different like rappers, who are furthering the gospel. One, we'll just go with Caleb Gordon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who's both of our guys.
Yeah.
What do you like about what he does?
Uh-huh.
And what do you think the place is for people who are using culture elements,
Mm-hmm.
like movie stars, entertainers,
Mm-hmm.
musicians, singers, to further the gospel? How do you think that works?
I think it works just like football. Like it's just different platforms which reaches different people. I love what he's doing. His music is great. His flow is nice, man.
Yes.
Inspirational. I might mess around and start rapping or something. But
Oh,
yeah, what he does is definitely smooth, man. And he's real. Ain't no sugarcoating. It's real.
for sure, for sure. If you had to name right now your favorite song from Caleb Gordon, where are you going?
I like Yesterday's Gone, but that's new, so I think that's why I like it. So I might
Sure.
say Rocky Road Part 2.
Okay.
That
yeah.
was cold.
Yeah. The road get
Or
rocky
This My
again.
Season.
Hey.
This my season, like I went and got recruited. That's all.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. No, I would. If you were starting a rap label,
Mm-hmm.
I would want to help out on that. I mean, I would want to go with that.
Hey, man.
Here's a question that I've been meaning to ask you that kind of falls in line with the same cultural elements, that we just were speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is I saw a picture that you have on your
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah.
You know where I'm going.
Yeah, yeah.
That's you seated on top of a basketball hoop,
Mm-hmm.
right? What in the world is that? I texted Jake Warren, the guy we know.
Yeah.
Right? And I went, what is he doing? Like, what? So talk to me about that. Like, how did that come about?
Man, saw a hoop, decided to sit in it. Nah, this guy named Noah Shots, they was doing a photo shoot for Saul, and they asked me to be in it, and I was
Okay.
like, heck yeah, bro.
Sure.
I don't know if a lot of people realize, but I had my grills on in that picture.
Did
So,
you really?
yeah, I had my goals in.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty dope. But, yeah, like, I love that stuff, like the camera and the taking the just in front of it, really, but then also, like, capturing it. It's pretty sick. It's an art for sure.
Hey, Rye, what time we got, brother? Here's a break in the little action here.
Just about 40.
Okay, cool. But a couple more questions for
Okay.
you. Thank you, by the way. Give a little shout out to the producer letting us know. Hey guys, one more quick thing. This show is going to elevate, and it's for two reasons. A, the Lord is working
Amen.
within this show and within the people who are connected to it. So I just want to say thank you again for hitting me back,
Thank you for having me.
being a
man.
part of this show. But also, dude, this dude over here, Ryan Stockdale, being able to put it together with the technical elements. I know you earlier were saying that something that led you to change major was struggling with computer stuff. I feel the same way. And in fact, in our business, we with like media broadcasting, a lot of what we do is online, on cameras. And so I turned to this guy and I said, hey man, I need help. And he held out the hand and we're going with it. So just incredibly fortunate to have you both here. But is there anywhere else you want to go with it?
Man, I feel like we've hitting it, man. I think we really hit it. I believe this bad boy is gonna be nice.
For sure.
It's gonna be nice.
For sure. And so let's see here. We have done Julia Bishop. We have done another guy who I'm not going to name yet because we haven't released.
Okay.
And then we're here with you.
Yeah.
And then we're going somewhere else, which actually will be filmed tomorrow morning.
Nice.
But then we're going to release that next week.
Yeah.
And then my expectation is that, we'll have all those shows out over the course of next week.
Okay.
But yeah, man, this is incredible to have you and be speaking to you.
Yeah.
I'm so uplifted by your story. I
Thanks,
really
man.
am. And
Thank you.
the truth is, I would love to be, come to Salt one of these times, see what's going on over there. If you want to come to Crew, let me know, because I know you said you have before. But if you want to do that again, I would love to have you over there. And man, I'm just uplifted by everything that you've had to say. So I feel like, man, you gained a fan in me today, for sure. For sure.
I
For
appreciate
everything
it.
that you're about.
Thanks,
And,
man.
how about this? Any shout-outs you want to give right before we dive out of here?
I'm gonna shout out my mama. I love you, mama, and my dad. I love him too, and my sister. Her birthday was yesterday.
Oh my goodness!
Happy birthday!
Yeah,
I hope she sees this. I'm gonna send it. to her.
We should sing right now. No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There you go. That's. But do you know that version? Because I know a lot of people say. Happy birthday. How does that one go?
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday
to you.
Yeah, but at the cookout, happy birthday.
Hey, I like that right there. Man. Oh, look at this dude. He's getting into it. Man, one last thing. Yeah. And then we'll dive out of here because I know you got to go get the hair done and you got to get smooth with it.
Got to.
But listen here. If there is one person at Michigan State that you would like me to try and get on my show to talk to, who would you say?
There's so many. Marquis Lowry. Yeah, we got to reach out to Marquis.
Okay.
Get him on here.
Yeah.
Get him on here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to see that happen. Marquis, if you're listening, hey, the gauntlet has been thrown down, my boy. It's time to get here. But, man, thank you so much once more.
Yeah.
So appreciate your insight and really excited with what we're doing here at Confluence of Worlds. Thank you guys for being alongside us. And that's it for today. Before we go off back into the world, spreading the good news. And really appreciate it. Have a great day, folks.
Have a great one.